Okay, so we made our little triangle book. This is the one that's got the silk bonded onto the violin. Now I'm looking at ways to make it a bit more interesting, and I want to put some chunky texture on. So I'm going now to show you a method of couching that I use, which I call Twiddly couching. And what you need to do is you need to gather up some threads and yarns. This is a bit of the old knitting yarn. There's a bit of silk in here, some embroidery thread. And what I do, it's really using braiding techniques. You know when you make a braid and you twist and twist and twist? The very act of twisting like that makes the braid turn in on itself, and if you use that with couching, can you see when I give it a bit of play, it all wriggles up and makes lovely lumps of texture. Now the secret to this is once you've got some lumps of texture, put your other thumb down on it, have ready needle and thread. I've already got this fastened on the back. I've started with a knot yarn note, and then just come up from the back, down into it. You can either use a toning thread that you won't see, or I rather like this lime green one because it sort of goes with the background, so it's adding a little bit of extra oomph. And just every so often, depending on how secure you need it to be, I usually do a fairly sort of loose tacking down bit, really like this first, just so that I can stitch back into it if I want to. On the lumpy bits, make sure that you stitch into the middle of the lumpy bit. And then, once you've done that, you start again with twiddling the next bit. Now, you can use a silk ribbon, which I've used here. This is a glitzy ribbon, which is space dyed, and with the same silk and knitting ribbon there. Again, this gives a much chunkier look because it's a thicker braid and a thicker ribbon to start with, but again you'll get these nice chunky lumps stitched in, and I rather like this bit where the bits of glitter come in. I've got a thread of beads in here. I usually thread them on when I'm couching beads down